Okay, we're going to get started. So you should be in your seats. Voices are off. Eyes are up here on me. Okay, this week we're starting our next story. So this is our second unit, but we're on our fifth story. So we're almost even done with the unit, how can we work together? So this week our question is, how can we work together to solve problems? And we're going to go ahead and we're going to focus over here on our learning target this week. So we're going to get focused on our learning target. Good morning. Okay. So this week, our learning target is, I can compare and contrast two things. This could be two stories, two characters, two items, two ideas, two books, two settings. You can compare and contrast two of anything, at least two. There can even be comparing more than one thing. For our success criteria this week, you are a 1 if you don't understand it yet. You're a 2 if you can do compare and contrast with some help. You're a 3 if you can compare and contrast on your own. And you're a 4 if you can compare and contrast and then help someone else. Now, really quickly before we start talking about compare and contrast, we are going to do a self-assessment. Where do you feel like you are right at this second? Are you a 1, a 2, a 3, or a 4? Before we even talk about any part of it, where do you feel like you are with compare and contrast? Okay, some 3s, a couple 4s, some 2s. All right, go ahead and put your hands down. Okay, so what we're going to do today is we're going to start off talking about compare and contrast by watching a quick video. So I'm going to pull it up here. We're going to watch a quick video. I'm going to start it on my computer. All right, so voices should be off.
Compare and contrast. When we compare, we tell how things are alike. When we contrast, we tell how things are different. Good readers think about how the characters, setting, and plot are similar and different in the stories they read. Let's see how these characters are alike and different.
How are we alike? We both have striped shirts. We both have baseballs. We are both wearing sneakers. How are we different? I am a girl. You are a boy. You are wearing pants and I am in shorts. You are wearing a baseball mitt, and I am holding a baseball bat.
Looking for what is the same and what is different in a story is a way to learn more about a story's characters, plot, and setting. Practicing comparing and contrasting characters, plot, and setting as you read is a good way to see how well you understand a story.
And you know what they say, practice makes perfect. Hey, speaking of practice, let's play ball.
Okay, so in that, they used what we're going to call a diagram. So this diagram has places where they talked about just the boy and just the girl. So that's their differences. That's where we contrast them. We're saying how they're different. The middle is where we're comparing them. What overlaps? What's the same between these two characters? So we're going to go ahead and we're going to practice this today by listening to Mrs. Reid read two different stories, and then we're going to compare and contrast them. Jackson, will you hit the 2 on the lights, please? Okay, so I'm going to read you 2 different stories today. While I'm reading, I want you to think and listen for things that are the same and things that are different between the 2 stories. We're going to be focusing on comparing and contrasting. All right, are we ready to listen? We got our listening ears on, sitting up straight, voices, pencils are down. Okay, the first story is called The Coyote and the Mouse. The Coyote and the Mouse. Zoom in. See me. Okay, this is a Native American folktale. Not many animals like the coyote. He was always causing conflict. One day, the coyote was out taking a walk. He saw a group of mice running around a tree, tying bags to the ends of ropes that hung over the tree's branches. The coyote asked the mice what they were doing. They replied, "The north wind is coming. He is going to throw hailstones at us. We must pull ourselves up under the branches to be safe." The coyote wanted to be safe from the north wind too. He got a bag and a rope and climbed in. "Pull me up under the branches," he ordered the mice. The mice tied his bag tightly shut and pulled him up. Then they threw stones at the coyote. "Ow, my head! Ow, my tail! These hailstones hurt!" cried the coyote. Finally, the mice said, "North wind is gone. We can come down now? When the coyote climbed out of his bag, he was moaning in pain. The mice were laughing. We tricked you, we tricked you. Then they scurried back to their holes. But did it really hail in that story? No. What were they throwing at him?
Rocks.
They were throwing rocks. They were saying that it was hail. Okay, here's the second story. This one is called The Ungrateful Tiger. This is a Korean folktale. Once there was a tiger that hunted people and animals in a village and scared them. One day, the villagers decided to trap the tiger. They dug a hole, hid it under branches and dirt, and that very night, the tiger fell into it. Help, help, he cried to a man passing by. The man was afraid to help the tiger, but the tiger promised to behave. So the man placed a long log into the hole, and the tiger climbed out. Thank you, said the tiger as he walked closer to the human and growled. But you gave your word that you would be nice, cried the man. We must ask a judge to resolve our problem. First, they asked a cow. Humans make animals work, and they are mean to them, said the cow. Humans are not nice. The man wanted to ask another judge. They came upon a tree. Humans cut down trees and then build their houses with them, said the tree. Humans are very thoughtless. Scared, the man asked if they could pursue one more option. They came upon a rabbit. I don't understand how you fell into the hole, said the rabbit. The three of them went back to the hole. The tiger jumped in. See? He asked. This is how I fell in. Grinning, the rabbit hopped away. The man hurried back to the village, and the tiger roared in anger at being tricked. So who was tricked in this second story? Who was the one that was tricked in this second story? The who, Flynn?
Tiger.
The tiger. So in the first story, the coyote was tricked, and the coyote was tricked into doing what? What was he tricked into doing? What did they trick him into doing, Jackson? That there was a hailstorm to climb into a bag, right? And in the second story, what was the tiger tricked into doing, Corbin?
He was tricked into going down.
Back into the hole. So in both stories, something that was the same was that there was an animal that was tricked. Now, what was different about the two stories? They're both folk tales, but what was different about the two stories? Tell me something that was different, Morgan. They were different animals. One of the main character animals was a coyote, and one was a tiger. One had a human, and one had mice. What else was different, Jackson? Okay, each thing that happened to them was different. One was in a hole, one was up in a bag being hit with stones. What about the settings? Were the settings the same or were they different? What do you think? Were the settings the same or different, Allie?
Different.
They were different, okay? So why would you say they were different? Okay, but were they both outside? So then they were the same. Were they in some sort of forest probably? Because they were talking about trees or holes in the ground. So I would say maybe more so like the settings were the same. Okay, we just compared and contrasted two stories. We showed how they had some things that were the same and some things that were different. So now what we're going to do is we're going to practice it on our worksheet today. So I want you to look on your worksheet. You need to be on this side of your worksheet, which is side 147. The directions say, read each story and follow the directions. So I'm going to read this story to you first, and then I'm going to read the second story. So track along with me. Why turtles live in water. These, again, are folk tales. That means they're old stories that have been told for many years. And usually there is a lesson that someone learned, just like the coyote and the tiger both learned a lesson, not to listen to others, right? They both got tricked. So this is an African tale. Long ago, turtles lived only on land. One day, some people were about to break the shell of a turtle to kill and cook it. The turtle stopped them and said that drowning him would work much better. Can you drown a turtle? No. So the people threw the turtle into the river. The turtle laughed and swam away. After that, turtles always lived safely in the water. So he resolved his conflict. His problem was that they were going to what? What was his problem? What was his problem, Morgan? They were going to eat him. So how did he resolve his conflict? How did he come up with a solution, Corbin?
He told a lie.
He kind of told a fib, right, to save himself, that he would be better to drown him in water, and you can't drown a turtle. I mean, you probably could, but you can't in this story.
If you hold it.
All right, maybe. Next story is called A Bear's Race with Turtle. This is a Native American tale. Bear and Turtle agreed to have a race to see who was the fastest animal in the woods. Turtle said he was. The two had a race. Bear ran around a frozen lake while Turtle swam in it. Turtle poked his head through the holes in the ice so Bear could see him. But Turtle fooled Bear. He had other turtles ready at each hole, so Bear would think that each head popping up was turtles. Turtle got very tired and Turtle won the race. Or Bear got very tired and Turtle won the race. Bear was so tired that he slept all winter. That is why bears sleep during the winter. So if we talk about these two, how could we compare them? What's something that's the same between these two folk tales? What's something that's the same, Maddox?
Something that's the same as that. They're both tails.
They're both tales, right? And these tales both have what as a character? What's one of the characters, Allie?
Turtle.
A turtle, right? So both of these stories are tales. The lesson that's learned on the first one, I want everyone to get their pencil out. Lessons that are learned or things that happen in nature often are described in folk tales. So in this folk tale, what they're saying happened is that after that, turtles always live safely in water. So everyone underline that last one. Is this really why turtles live safely in water? No, but it's a story that's been passed down and that's why people believe it. The second one says at the end, that is why bears sleep during the winter. So underline that sentence. This is why they're saying bears sleep during the winter. All right, what we're going to do now is we're going to talk about these questions. All right, so we are going to look at number one. Read number one for me, Holden.
What characters describe the turtle?
So right now I want you to think about how we're going to restate that. Think about how we're going to restate that. We're going to focus on our learning target and think about how we're going to restate that. What character trait describes the turtles in both stories? The turtles are what? I need an adjective that would describe this turtle. What kind of person is this turtle? What's something, I don't want how he looks, but what's something he has on the inside that describes the turtle? He's very what? What is this turtle? He's very what, Riley? Does he ever get tricked?
Yeah.
He doesn't get tricked, so it would make him very
Smart.
He's very smart. This turtle is a very smart turtle. He is the one doing the tricking, so he could be the trickster, right? But if you want to put something along the lines of him being smart, that would be a great answer to this very first one. All right, go ahead and write that. I'm going to stop this.
What should we write? The turtle is very small. Yeah, this is